October 1st. We're going to check below the chestnut tree, see if we've got some mature nuts falling yet or not. That will spur us to look at the other trees also. Trying to keep up on this once a day. Let's check it out. Here we've got an example of small ones yet. Here's some more. You can see how that splays open. A lot of them do that up in the tree and then just drop the nuts down below. Sometimes they fall, do it at the same time. Other times they fall and don't even open. So you can see we're starting to get quite a few of these falling. This is probably just within the last day. Again, these are all pretty small. Green one. I don't have high hopes that there's any fertile seeds in here, or nuts. Here's another example. Oh. I'm going to keep quite a few of these small ones. I've not tried germinating them. I don't expect them to work, but why the heck not? Unfortunately, nothing great today, October 1st, just a handful of the tiny little seeds. You know. Back out to do a check. It's October 6th and we're still getting these small, real thin seeds. I'm gonna just keep picking up whatever I can here, but I do not think these will sprout into anything. They just are not rounded and formed up well. You can see we're starting to get quite a few more on the ground here. This one looks a little bit bigger than that, but when you flip it over, it's concave on that side and there's not much thickness to it, so I don't think these are gonna work. Ooh, look at this. I just found one that looks like it actually formed. So this is the first one of this year. This one looks very promising. So, gonna keep looking. Oh, here's another one. Score! I got two. That's as many as I got all of last year. This is awesome. Just found another one that looks formed up nicely. And I was too late for this one. That one's eaten already. Seems like the beginning of the mature filled out nuts is timed with about peak colors on the rest of the trees. Interestingly enough, we can see right at this log, deer have been using the trail I cut up to these trees quite a bit. They like to take the path of least resistance, just like humans. Ew. Hope they're not up here eating my chestnuts, although I know they are. Oh, score! Look at that, we found one already. It's all about timing. My timing was always wrong in the past. This is awesome. Let's see if we can get some more of these. Oh, here's another one. Awesome. Looks like a squirrel got that one already. I was hoping to find more up here, but those darn squirrels get at them so quick up here in the woods. Well, let's go take a look at the big boy over the ridge. Now, the problem with this one is not only squirrels, but I know the south face of this ridge is highly preferred bedding for deer. So they're not going to have to go very far to stand up and come over and eat these chestnuts. So it's going to be a race between them and me and see who gets there first. Just by the way things have been disturbed here, looks like a lot of the seed pods have been kicked around. The dirt kind of disturbed. There definitely deer have been through here looking for these chestnuts. Again, it's just a matter of me getting here before they do, and one of those fertile ones drops, but that's difficult based on that they kind of hang out here during the day. No. Also armed. And even the ones that are left are obviously immature, but even of this type, there's a lot fewer of them. And I'm wondering if the deer are eating all of these. Here is the tally from today. So from the first tree, yard tree, we got 9. From the middle tree, we got 3. And the big tree over the ridge, a big 0. Off to a good start though. For one day, this is pretty darn good. All right, it's early morning on October 8th. I'm out here fighting the squirrels. See if we can find any more chestnuts. Oh yeah, baby. It is prime time. Score! Here's one the squirrel are in mid-eating. I think it's bad now. Here's the total from this morning. I got 14 from the tree in the yard and 2 from the middle tree in the woods and 0 from the tree in the woods over the ridge. So pretty good haul. It's October 16th. I think we're getting past prime for collecting these chestnuts, but I just got back from a work trip. So while I was gone, the family did collect 6 ripe chestnuts. I don't think they were as diligent as I was, but anyway, 6 is better than nothing. Unfortunately, I think I missed prime time with these things falling, but let's see if there's any more left for us. The colors are still pretty nice. I thought I'd come back to most of the leaves down, but that's not the case. They're still looking pretty good. So maybe we'll still find some chestnuts too. Let's see. Well, there's good and bad news. There are a lot of the outer husks from full ripe chestnuts below the tree, which means the tree produced a lot of these this year, which is good. The bad news is I missed it and they're all eaten. I am a little bit interested to see the tree on the south side of the ridge had not produced any that I found or saw before I left for my work trip. So I'm wondering if, because that's on the south side of the tree, gets more sunlight, soil temperature, would take a little bit longer to come down if that tree is maybe a week behind. So let's go take a look at that. Hopefully we'll get an idea of if that's the case. If that is the case, we should at least see those husks below the tree after the squirrels ate them. Before there was really nothing, so let's see. I'm curious to see if that has increased while we were gone. Hopefully we'll even find some below the tree. Let's see. Yeah, same story here at the middle tree as the tree in the yard. Basically husks left and immature nuts, or not fully formed nuts on the ground. Let's take a look over the ridge and see if there's a different story. We are at our third tree here on the south side of the ridge. There's a lot of sign on the ground here, so I'm hopeful maybe we'll find something and maybe understand the sequencing of the production of these three trees and when they drop them. Take a look. Well, I fear this year's collection is over. The window is closed. It's done. But I've got a few interesting observations on this tree. There's evidence of fully formed, fertile nuts on the ground in the form of these husks. I just missed the window where they were dropping, and they're all eaten now. It is also interesting to note my theory on this tree being a little bit later in the season due to being on the south side of this ridge and being warmer, I think is accurate. There's much more evidence of even the infertile or non-fully formed nuts all across the ground, which I did not have before I left on my trip during the second week of October. So I don't think it's a full week behind the other trees on the north side, north slope, but I think it's probably 4 or 5 days behind. Unfortunately missed the window on this one, but it is good news that it's getting pollinated and it is dropping those. So in the future, if I've got the opportunity to be in the right place here at the right time, I'll be able to collect some from this tree. The other interesting observation I've made on these chestnut trees is just around nature, and it's pretty amazing. I believe what's going on, the goal of this tree is to drop all of those nuts just before the leaves fall off of all the other trees, so you get that nut on the forest floor, and then it covers up with the leaf litter and sits over winter, sprouts in spring, and then turns into a tree. I don't believe that's happening here because we only have 3 chestnut trees, and the appetite of the local deer and squirrel population is such that there's not enough quantity of nuts to satisfy their hunger at this time of year, so they're getting all vacuumed up before that leaf layer gets on top. But it is also interesting to note, on the north side of this ridge, if we take a look, there are fewer leaves down, which also supports that theory that this tree is going to drop a little bit later, and that reason is it wants to be timed exactly before those leaves come and cover them up. So kind of interesting stuff. Let's get a tally on the season totals for this year, and it is pretty cool. Each one of those nuts I've collected that's fertile is potentially another American chestnut back in the woods. All right, the big reveal. Let's see how many we collected this year. So not only am I going to try to germinate these and produce more chestnut trees, hopefully I have enough where I can share with others and get these genetics and this tree back into forests all across North America. But to do that, I need quite a few, but let's see. "52 chestnuts I collected this year. That's awesome. I only got 2 all of last year, but like I said, I was not very diligent at all. So the hard work has paid off. I think if I were around last week during my work trip, I may have been able to even double this, but unfortunately that's not how things worked out this year. The next step with this is to share some of these with others. Folks have emailed me already. I'm going to get back to them now that I know how many I have. The other thing is I need to get my setup ready to try to get these to germinate, and there's a little bit of trick I saw with another individual on YouTube, stratifying these with sand, putting them in a bucket and burying that bucket in the ground to go through the winter cycle as if they're in the forest floor and covered by that leaf litter. But of course, putting them in that bucket protects them from squirrels and deer, things that are going to eat them. So I think that's what I'm going to try. Stay tuned for the next video. We're going to give that a go and check out them in spring, and hopefully whatever I keep I get to germinate, and that's one more chestnut tree we can put back in the forests. Thanks for watching. Adios. October 17th, first accumulating snow of the year. Seems a little bit too early.